Hello, let's discover Keep Running, the footwear company and its strategy over the years. First, it seems important to have an overlook on the evolution and the attractiveness of the footwear industry in general. Between year 10 and year 16, in terms of the evolution of the demand, it increased for both branded and private label pairs. Branded pairs demand has increased by 47%, and the private label one has increased by 77%. North America has always been the region where the demand for branded pairs is the biggest, followed by Europe, Africa, Asia Pacific, and Latin America on the same level. Latin American demand for branded production has known the biggest increase by 71% between year 10 and year 16. Private label demand was equally distributed between the different regions. Concerning the attractiveness, we noticed that the footwear industry became more and more attractive all over the years. There was also an increased competitive intensity. Using the 5 forces model of Porter, we can assess the footwear industry attractiveness. The rivalry among existing competitors is intense. 11 firms compete. 45% of them offer high-end price and SKU rating quite high, whereas 27% position themselves as low-end with high number of models. There are some well-established companies with large resources and equipment, such as Hasawa Kunen. Then, the threat of substitute is low, because even though people can use another type of shoes for their daily life, there are no other alternative for the practice of sport. The threat of new entrants is quite high, because there are low entry barriers, not much specialized knowledge required. Production and labor costs are low in some regions. The bargaining power of suppliers is moderate. There are many suppliers within the industry and they are able to adjust prices depending on the demand. And the quality of our products depend in part on the materials they deliver to us. The bargaining power of buyers is moderate too, since they can switch to other firms. Buyers are very price sensitive. However, they stay loyal to high-end firms. Moreover, retailers are sensitive to financial supports. Now it's time to describe the strategy and the changes we made to succeed in the industry. For our company Keep Running, we chose to follow a global best cost strategy. The point was to offer a medium-low quality sneaker with an SKU rating around 5 to 6 stars with significant number of models. We chose to offer affordable prices, quite lower than the average prices and always lower than our direct competitors. Every year, we managed to optimize our cost without compromising the quality of the sneakers. Our goal was to maximize our market share. This was quite a success because every year we were among the companies that had the highest market shares. We managed to have facilities in every region in order to limit tariffs and exchange rate. On year 11, we could rely on 2 existing facilities in North America and Asia Pacific. But from year 12, we started the construction of new spaces in Europe, Africa, and Latin America. We decided to put a significant number of pairs in Latin America because this is where the tariffs on footwear exported from the other production facilities were the highest. Regarding the private label segment, we noticed that only a few companies were on this segment, so we decided to seize the opportunity. Our goal was to have the maximum market share in every region. So, every year, we adapted our prices, the number of pairs offered, and kept a medium SKU rating about 5 stars. We managed to maintain strong market shares, dealing with the prices and distribution. But unfortunately, we didn't manage to stick to the strategy all along. So how did we fail to follow our strategy? Our explanation might be that for a global best cost strategy to succeed, we needed our production costs to be kept to a minimum and have better operating profit margins, which we failed to do. The wildly fluctuating exchange rates really harmed our operating profit margin year over year. Since we wanted to keep our prices affordable to stick to our strategy, we could have worked to improve set profit margins in other ways to make up for these losses. Our image rating never really took off either. We rarely had money to spare to invest in CSRC initiatives. Finally, we're so focused on trying to meet the targets set by the investors in any given year that our decisions might have been too short-sighted to set a proper long-term strategy. What were the core strengths and weaknesses of Keep Running? We had some superfluous strengths. For example, we won a contract with the Celebrity Roller Federation, but it did not make us win a lot of market shares or money. Concerning the key strength, we had good market shares compared to other companies, always more than 15% of the private label segment in Europe, Africa and Latin America since year 13, for instance. We also had very high revenues in year 13, 14 and 15. It has allowed us to repay a good part of our debt in advance. Finally, it seems relevant to say that we were leaders in model diversity before being copied by Company I, Company J on the Latin American market. But we stayed among the ones with more models available on the market. We maintained our strategy. What were our key weaknesses? We had a low credit rating during half of the business day. C in year 13 and C+ in year 14. This is insufficient. As a consequence, our image rating suffered and lowered. It was not good compared with other films, 77 on average between year 10 and year 15. Our zone of irrelevance was the fact that there were no corporate citizenship implications from Keep Running. It was not a strategy we chose to implement from the beginning due to a lack of funds to do so. How did we manage the company as a team? The team spirit was great. Everyone was involved in the project and took part in every reunion we had. Everyone had some expertise to add to the project, thanks to financial, marketing, communication, and human resources management backgrounds, for instance. We did our best to maximize the use of the team members' knowledge and opinion for Keep Running. Despite the current crisis, we managed to schedule recurring Zoom calls and take decisions together. Here's an example of what our meetings looked like. First, we analyzed recent results, had a look at our previous strategy and plan of action, see where it failed and why. Then, we refined the strategy and took measures to align our company with it. The objective of the group itself was to have collaborative, participative, and non-hierarchical operations. The overall organization of the course was pretty good, and the course content full of interesting knowledge for our work life. We appreciated the fact that we can choose whether or not to attend the lecture and thus adapt our work and schedule. Moreover, case studies were very useful to understand and to put into practice the lectures. However, we would have appreciated to have more case studies with their corrections to practice at home, especially for the final exam. Concerning the business game now, we have a few recommendations. Even though we finally managed to use it, the guide isn't sufficient to understand the whole functioning of the site. It would have been a real plus to have a lecture to help us to use it, and to read the results and reports to adapt our strategy. In addition, it would have been a great idea to have advice or feedbacks on our strategies in order to help us to improve them. Finally, we want to thank you, Professor, for the energy you put into the course. And for everyone, just keep running.